In this supernatural thriller, Arthur Kipps, a widowed lawyer, is sent to a remote village to sort out the affairs of a recently deceased eccentric in The Woman in Black, released February 3rd, 2012, directed by James Watkins, who previously has done Eden Lake, the remake of Speak No Evil, and will be doing the upcoming DC Comics movie Clayface, based on the novel by Susan Hill, written by Jane Goldman, writer of Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, and the Kingsman series, starring Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. So this movie opens with three little girls having a tea party, and then out of nowhere, they simultaneously jump out a window. That's one way to start things. That's dark. Fast forward to Arthur, Daniel Radcliffe, getting ready to leave on business. This is apparently his final warning to do good work at his firm. There's a quick flashback telling us that his wife died in childbirth, which, very unfortunate. That sucks. But also, unfortunately, very common for the time. What time? We're never actually given a year, but it's very much like Victorian-esque. At this inn in the village, he gets to stay in the room where the girls jumped out the window. It's like, okay, weird, sure, but then it's like never brought up that what happened to him, what happened in this room or anything like that. So it's like, the dramaticness of it all is just like wasted. Soon, someone hands him some paperwork and tells him essentially to get lost. So Arthur pays off the wagon man to bring him to the house. It's like, hey, you got a job to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. The house is old. It's overgrown. It's dusty as hell. We never learn when the occupants actually died. But we do learn that a child, unfortunately, drowned in the marsh. A woman in black, she appears in the cemetery. Arthur then hears screams. We, assumedly, see flashbacks of a wagon sinking into the marsh, and that's the wagon that unfortunately killed the child. Back in the village, a little girl, out of nowhere, drinks some lye and then dies in Arthur's arms. What? That's out of completely nowhere. Okay, sure. At a dinner with a couple, the wife, she just freaks out. They had their own child who unfortunately passed. But now he possesses the mother to speak through her as well as draw. Okay, sure. Shocker, the village blames Arthur because, he's the outsider, but they also reveal that there is a curse. And, that's all for the death of the child, and apparently it just takes a lot of kids. Weird, creepy. Back at the house, we found out the kid that drowned wasn't an actual kid of the two adults in the house. It belonged to the woman's sister. There's no explanation as to why she adopted her sister's son. Back at the village, a house is on fire. A girl, and, Arthur goes in to go save a girl in the basement, and she just lights herself on fire with the woman in black just hanging out in the corner. And it's a really cool visual because it's like, one of those classic oil lamps, so you just drop it, shatter, and but the fact that it's like a kid is like dark. So this curse, apparently, she takes out other children because her kid was taken and was left to drown in the marsh. And that's the whole thing. Because she couldn't have her kid, nobody else can have their kids. That's fucked up. So Arthur's grand idea is, let's get the body out of the marsh. He does. The woman in black sees the body. He cracks open the cemetery, the coffin, puts the kid in, which is gross, closes it back up, and then problem solved. But not quite, because then he and his kid get hit by a fucking train to end the movie in the darkest possible way. So, I've never read the book, but now I kind of want to, because there's no way it's as boring as this. For the most part, the film is pretty decent. Daniel Radcliffe puts on a solid performance, the direction is fine, the aesthetic is sufficiently creepy, the set pieces are well done, and the effects are good. It's the story that really hinders the work of the cast that the cast and the crew put in. I don't know if it was just written poorly, but it's certainly a possibility. Um, the writer wrote a very successful franchise, wrote X-Men First Class, which is great, the first Kick-Ass movie, which is great. I don't remember when all those came out. Most likely, like after this, I think. I didn't look it up, and I can't. Like, it's not coming off the top of my head. But like if this is her like closer to the first work, actually, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Give me a second. Okay, back. Um, Kick-Ass and First Class came out before this, but she also wrote Days of Future Past and a couple other movies after this. So it's like, how do you go from writing something good to writing just something boring as hell? Granted, Kick-Ass and First Class co-written by Matthew Vaughn, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But it could also be like just a case of that the story doesn't translate well on screen. Maybe a bit of both. I don't know. It's a very creepy atmosphere, and James Watkins does well to translate that, and Radcliffe does well to portray it. But what's behind the creepiness is just slow and boring. I give The Woman in Black a D. Thank you for watching Fatman Inc. Craptacular Horror. Leave a like if you enjoyed and a comment to discuss your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe to see more reviews of horror movies new and old. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.